It's on already.
We're on.
It's showing, but it's showing frozen. But we could just start.
I know my internet. What would it take for the internet to work?
Okay, so it's working.
So, yay! Yeah. Welcome to another Candid Conversation. I'm so excited to have Cindy on.
Yes.
And we have a topic for today that's been coming up for a number of people. When you're starting to choose to change and to expand your life and expand your wings, and it like freaks your partner out, and then you start to get resentful that they're not choosing, and like what would it be like to have kindness and allowance for them and for everybody in your life who's not actually ready to commit to themselves or to choose something different yet. And I feel like, when you first step into it, you're so excited and you want people to come along with you. But when you first heard about it, you weren't ready. And other people wanted you to come along and you were like, wait a second. So like just having that allowance for when they're ready, if they're ever going to be ready, and making your choices as you go, not coming to conclusion about it so quickly. So whatever you want to contribute to this.
Well, I just wanted to say, and just choosing whether they come along or not. I mean, I was right there when I was first introduced, or just to anything new. Sometimes I jump right in, but I notice when I feel like pushed to do something, I'm just like, but they're like, oh, it's, when they're just kind of like, it's so much fun, but they're not attached to me doing it or not. I get curious, I get curious. And so I try to be that, just be the space and allowance for people to choose. Like with my husband, when I first learned about Access, he was like, what's this? What's the bars? Points on the head. I was like, yeah, it's really great. And, he tried it for 5 minutes and he was like, nah, not interested.
Yeah.
And then last night I was giving him a massage and I go, would you like me to run your bars? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I ran his bars like fully.
And this is how many years later?
And it's been like 10 years later. I mean, what? It was just like this. It was such a contribution for me to gift it to him, because I also received, but for him to be like, yes, so open to it. So, it happens when it happens. They receive it when they receive, and they're still receiving a lot.
Yeah. And it's like, when we decide that we need our partner or our friends or family or whatever to have this or to choose this, there's such a push energy, like no wonder they're in resistance. So when you're like, fuck it, they may never choose it, then they're like, can you do that thing? And you're like, seriously?
Like, because no one really needs it. They don't, no one really needs anything. If you think about it, it's really about just receiving, learning to receive. And it's like, wow, cool. So when you come from that space, no one needs it. It's a contribution.
Yeah. I think there's another thing, and I've been looking at this recently. It's the willingness to have your own reality. And having your reality doesn't exclude anybody or anything, but you have the willingness to choose what works for you. And when we start to step into these things, and it's like so much fun for us, we want everybody to come along with us, but that's trying to create a reality with somebody else, which ends up being like this reality where you have to divorce pieces and parts of you because other people can't perceive it, can't receive it, can't choose it. So having the willingness to have your own reality, inclusive of everybody else and their own realities, gives you those creation points and connection points where you can still be you and show up as you and have them be them without any expectations of them being like you or choosing what you're choosing.
Yep. Yeah, and I remember when Sylvia first shared Access with me, and things started really shifting for her, and just her being, the joy she was being. She used to be very critical of herself, and all of a sudden there was just this ease and this space. And I remember going to this grocery store, and we are going to have lunch, and we are picking something to eat, and she's like, "Dad, I want this, I want that," and talking to the person over here, and I'm standing there, and in what I was observing is like these people that were kind of rude and annoyed, and then over here, this person over here, what she saw was just this joy and sparkle in everyone. I was like, that's not what I'm seeing. And we were having this conversation while we were having lunch, and I go, wow, interesting. We're here in the same room, but we're experiencing two different realities. And then I got curious. I was like, what is that? Like, is that because my point of view and judgment is this point of view of this reality? What, and then hers is different. Well, is mine real and hers is not? Is hers fantasy? So you go into this back and forth, and I was like, and so then I started getting that your point of view creates your reality. So I was like, wow, if I can shift my reality and be just present to the joy and the ease of life, what will show up? What will I perceive? What will I receive? And so I just started asking that question, and all of a sudden I feel like I'm bouncing around, like things are so great, and still being aware of the things that aren't working for me and the people that aren't being great. It's not like I'm blindsided by that either anymore, but just being willing to receive the joy, more of the joy than I used to, that I had cut off for so long, or starting to cut off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny when you're a kid and you have in your reality that magic exists and it's totally possible. And then you see kids grow up into their teen years, and then they do their whole rebellion thing, and then they're like, magic doesn't exist. And and like for me watching this, it's really funny because that like watching my kids, I know that they had it and still have it and use it. They have it in their back pocket and they use it whenever it's super required. But there's this, I don't know, that thing about fitting in, sort of. Like they're still very much themselves, but there's this cloaking of the magic because it's like not totally okay. But then you see other people using magic and you're like, wait a second, I have that. I know how to do that. And so it just takes that like desire to come up in you to actually choose it again. So like all the people that are holding back and not being all of them, and they see somebody being happy and they're like, shit, like they could make it wrong because they're not willing to choose it. Or they could start to go, you know what? I'm going to have some of that. I'll be that. Yeah. One day I'll get there, whatever it takes.
Well, I think sometimes that moment where you're like, oh man, oh shit, like, hey, or you think you're making them wrong, but really you're remembering a time when you were that too. You're remembering that time of joy and fun and magic and playfulness and your imagination and fantasizing and daydream. You remember those days, and it's almost like you get angry. I mean, I know I got angry kind of at the world, like, what the heck, like, we were brought here for something greater, and it's not to be down and miserable. It's to be joyful. And so there is that moment of like, man, I want that back. What's it going to take? And I think that's the beauty of these classes that you do. It's like, you're really putting yourself in the driver's seat again of your life. And you're being the demand of like, hey, I'm going to have this. I'm choosing this. I'm going to be it, whatever it takes. And invite people. If they come, great. If they don't, that's fine. It's like,
because you're happy, so it doesn't matter.
And
right,
not like, you're not gonna, I'm not gonna cut ties or anything, but when just be the invitation and not being held back to, or as I was talking to someone, he's on, I'm tired of having to save people, and I go, that's old reality.
Right.
Right now, it's just about being the joy and being the inspiration for others to see that that's possible and
Yeah.
what they can choose.
When you were saying that you were angry at the world, and I had a similar thing. And when I looked at it deeper, I realized that it wasn't the world I was angry at. It
Mm.
was really myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you put it outside of you, you can't change it.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's like, oh, shit. Like, it's really easy to want to blame someone else or something else for
Yeah.
what you're choosing. But ultimately, we are choosing everything that's going on in our lives. And
Exactly.
it's a co-creation, yes, but we are choosing it. And we have total control over the way we look at something. And, if we don't like what's showing up, all we have to do is start asking a question and allow it to shift and change. Because sticking to the conclusion that it's happening to you is not going to change it. It's just not.
And also, yeah, you're choosing it, but you're also choosing not to choose it, because seeing something that lights you up, inspires you, brings you joy, and you're like, yeah, but I don't have the money. Oh yeah, but I don't have the this. Yeah, but that's you not choosing that.
Right.
And it also keeps you in a certain place. So what question can you ask? What question can you be? What question, can you invite yourself
Yeah.
to have more of those things without
Remember
feeling like,
on that class with Shannon last week or 2 weeks ago, she was saying instead of asking how, just change it to what choice. So not how can I get the money, but what choice can I make for the money to show up? Or what choice can I make for blank, whatever it is that you'd actually like to have? And there's it's really taking a look at what you are prioritizing, and if what your life is like right now is what you enjoy, then awesome, keep choosing the same choices and you will have more of that. But if you want something different, you have to make other choices. And you don't even have to know what choices they are. You don't even have to know what question. You can just ask, what choice can I make for this to change? And when something shows up that matches that energy, even if you have no idea and it doesn't make sense and just seems random, when you choose those things that match the energy of what you're asking for, just frickin' choose it, because that's the magic. And things will open up and shift.
Yeah. Yeah, that willingness to play in that magic. Yeah, when you say it like that, yeah, that is the magic, because it's like it really just, you don't know what's gonna happen. You can sense it. You can't think it. You can sense it, and once you step into it, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like we keep trying to figure everything out, but that eliminates the magic. And it makes it like the steps in this reality that's old creation. That's through force, effort, conclusion, linearity. But you can have magic by asking a question and making a choice and perceiving the possibilities and then choosing. Like, it's so different and it's so light and it's so easy. And I think that's why people don't necessarily want to choose it, because they're like, there's got to be a catch. Yeah, the catch is your magic. You have it. You have this ability, and you could have an easy life. But most people would rather be right. I know I was for many, 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 many years.
Yeah, and I'm still working on that, because it's still a muscle. But it's just like letting that go and being willing to be wrong, being willing to make a mistake, being willing to be judged. Yeah, and just have fun in the journey.
And be willing to just be you and show up and like lower those barriers. It's amazing what potency shows up in that. We think that we're going to get hurt, but it's the opposite. You actually are so much more potent when you show up and be you and not have any of those protective barriers. Yeah. So I like to look at these things as steps, and that's probably why in some of my classes that I've created steps. It's like, take this step and then take this step and like chunk it down to easily digestible pieces. So upcoming in August, we're having that 6-step guided transformation for people who are tired of divorcing themselves to be in their relationships. And it's not necessarily about breaking up, but it's about having more of you. And we also have committing to your living coming up at this weekend. And there's an intro if people want to just stick their toes in, take the first step.
Yeah. And the introduction's an hour? It's an hour-long introduction?
I think we do like an hour and a half.
Okay.
You know, whatever people can have, and you know, the questions and stuff. But yeah, it's a pretty cool intro class.
It is.
And
I mean, I heard from a lot of people the last introduction too. It was really awesome, and so got people really thinking about what they're choosing and creating.
Yeah.
And even just registering for the Committing to You course, it's like right away, it's like you're choosing for you, so things will shift. Once you choose it, it's like things will start unraveling or showing up, and that's magical in and of itself. I think with anything you choose, you know, once you make that choice.
Absolutely. And like when you do choose something, you get the awareness of what that choice is going to create. So sometimes it feels really light and spacious and exciting, and sometimes it feels like super heavy. And if it's heavy, then just choose again. You know, that's your awareness.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, it's always a pleasure to chat with you, Cindy. And let's do more.
Yes.
You know, we'll take different topics and stuff.
Yes.
And
yeah. Go and if anybody has a topic they have a question about, can they message you or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. You know, and that's just one thing I also am grateful for, Julie. I can always, you know, and I hear that from other people that have taken your classes, you know, you're readily available and they can message you and ask questions. And a lot of times on your Facebook Lives, whether it's your expanding exercises that you do monthly, you know, you always put something in for those people that are always with you. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. You know, all you have to do is ask. It's
yes.
When I started Access 17 years ago, Gary had his phone number in the back of all the manuals. So I had his phone number. And then I got Dane's when his was in the back of the manuals. And we could call them. We could text them. We could ask them questions. They invited it. And I do the same thing and I answer. So,
right on.
You know, the invitation is there if you're willing.
Yeah.
And if it's more than 5 to 7 minutes, then, you know, you can choose a session or not, but we give 5 to 7 minutes for free.
Nice. Very, very cool.
Yep. All right. Well, have a beautiful day, and I hope to see some other people in some of the classes. That would be awesome.
Me too. Okay. Thank you, Julie.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone, for joining.